Hi, my name is Bean. I wanted to do a short little video to compare some different slabs for you guys. I've seen a lot of people posting in some of the Facebook groups I'm in asking which company they should submit their cards to, and there are a lot of different arguments that people bring up for different things. Some of them are Chevy Ford type arguments, some of them have legitimate points, some of them are just people's personal preference. What I want to do is just show you several different ones, 6 to be exact, so that you can actually see them, and I can give you a few things I like and dislike about each, and hopefully give you some more information so you can help make your decision on where you want to send your cards to get graded. So I'm going to start with GMA. GMA, personally, not a big fan of the label. I think it's a little bland. It is the tallest out of all these slabs here. If you were to stand them all up, this is the tallest out of all of them. That's not really a plus or a minus, it just is what it is. I will say this was graded at a 10, but if you were to look at this card in detail, you will see some whitening on these 3 corners, which in my opinion would not make it a 10. I do like this slab. This was a gift to me by a friend because I collect Magmar, so I will not get rid of this. But GMA is not a company that I personally submit to. As far as pricing and stuff, if you wanted to submit to GMA, their cheapest is $10 a card and it's 150 business days. Their quickest is $20 a card for 20 business days, and that is per their website. I do not know if they are holding to those turnaround times or if they're extended the way a lot of these other companies are, with just being flooded with cards for the last year and a half. But according to their website, that is that. I also noticed on their website, the cards on the front page had a different label, and they looked a little better than this. So possibly they have redone that. That would be cool if they did. I think it'd look a little cleaner with a different label, but that is GMA. Next I have HC. This is a newer company that I admittedly don't know a ton about, but they did a Cryptid Nation first edition booster box break from the new card game MetaZoo. And part of the box break was they would grade the hollows in each pack and send them to you. So I bought 2 packs, and this is one of the 2 hollows I got back. I do like these slabs. I think they look really clean. They're very similar to CGC, which we'll look at next. With the rounded corners, the size is almost identical. They almost stack, but they're just different enough to where they don't really snap together. And one thing about these I really like is the clear border. Some of these slabs have clear, some of them are clouded. I like the clear. I think it just looks really clean. The black border looks really nice. It really stands out. To be honest, my first impression was they're trying to copy Beckett's black label because they're very coveted and very sharp looking. But that's just me, where my mind went. One thing I will say I was quite disappointed with both of my slabs, and I've not done this on the actual card portion down here, but I noticed the top did not look like it was sticking together, and you can actually, if I can get it for the camera to focus, you can actually pry this apart on the top. It's actually, I could pry it up all the way down to this point here. So I don't know if the card is just sealed in these 4 corners, here, 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 and here. But I'm really disappointed in that feels like it's peeling up. I don't want to mess with this because I'm afraid the whole slab would fall apart, to be honest with you. So I know they're a new company. Maybe they're working out some kinks. It is the label, not the card. So if this is sealed well in here, then maybe the integrity of the card won't be jeopardized by that. But I'm disappointed in that because other than that, the slabs looks decent. So that is HC. As far as their pricing on their website, they do have really good pricing. Their bulk pricing is $8, standard's $13, express $15, and speed $45. What that means by speed is I have no clue because I do not know any of their turnaround times, but $8 bulk pricing is the cheapest out of all of these. and next would be GMA with 10. So you can't beat that. And they do look, like I said, they're not a bad looking slab. I do like a lot of things about the way they look. It's just I'm not going to send anything valuable to them for slab quality reasons, and hopefully they get that worked out in the future. Next we have CGC. Like I said, it is very similar to the HC as far as the size and the style. It's got the same clear border. The blue I do like. CGC was, to the best of my knowledge, more of the comic book authority, and then several years ago got into grading cards. So they're not new to grading, but they're newer to card grading compared to some of these other ones. One thing I don't like about CGC is, to my knowledge, they do not have a population report like some of these others, Beckett and PSA do. Beckett and PSA, you could look up and say, okay, how many of this exact card got this exact grade? That's the population report. And CGC does not have one, and I really think they ought to, and I wish they did. CGC pricing, according to their website, is $15 for 185 business day turnaround, 25 for 54 days, 35 for 30, and 60 for 9. But it is an extra $10 per card to have subgrades, and I personally prefer subgrades. I obviously bought these. I didn't grade them myself because I wouldn't grade them without subgrades. So some people don't care about subgrades. Some people do. I personally do. I prefer them. I like to know why it got what it got. I like to know what got dinged for what. But CGC, they're nice and clean. They are known for grading very harshly, which I really like as a collector. I feel good about the grade it got. I know that it earned every bit of that 8.5. So I do like CGC. I think they're pretty good. Next is PSA, which is one of the most recognizable, if not the most recognizable. PSA has been around a while. They are ugly. They are. But, we still love them anyway. Wait times and prices are off the chain right now. They've just been flooded with cards the last 2 years. They halted bulk submission for a while, and I think they're slowly working on getting that back in. But I know even for my Express, I sent in an Express submission in March. It is almost the new year, and I just heard from my middleman that they are now about to be shipped back. So 9 months for an Express is a long time. So I like PSA for resale value. They're easy to sell, and that's where you're going to retain good value. CGC values are a little bit less than that. Same with Beckett. Beckett and PSA are kind of the top two dogs. CGC, I would put in the category, I would call them the big three. But CGC is going to have maybe slightly less of a resale value. Not much, but a little bit. Obviously, cards like MG and HC and this other one I'm going to show you will have even less than that as far as resale value. But that is PSA. The next one I want to show you is actually a new company that I have come to be a really big fan of, and that is MG Cards. MG has a flat fee of $13 per card. You can get a custom border, such as this, for an extra $3 for $16 a card. They have a guarantee of 3-week turnaround time or less. And the way they maintain that is if they get enough cards submitted to where they don't feel like they can maintain that promise and that time frame, they will freeze submissions until they get caught up. So you're not going to get stuck waiting for 9 months like I did with PSA. They're not going to have the resale value of PSA or Beckett because they're new. But as far as getting stuff graded that you don't want to sell, like for your personal collection, like this card, they're my go-to for sure. If you do get a 10, you will get a silver border. If you get a perfect 10 with all 10 subgrades, you will get a gold border. And that's cool. And the one thing they do that I wish these other companies did is on the back of the label, they will show you what your card got dinged for. And I think that's huge. I can't tell you how many times I've heard of people submitting cards and going, I should have got a 9. Why did it get a 7? PSA doesn't do subgrades. Beckett and CGC, you have to pay for subgrades. MG comes with subgrades, and it outlines why your card got knocked, and that is a great feature. So I've become a big fan of MG. The only thing I have negative to say is on all the corners, there's this white, if my camera will focus, a little bit of white on all the corners, and I'm assuming it has something to do with the way these are sealed and closed. But other than that, I am a big fan of MG. And then my favorite is Beckett. As far as just the look of a slab, they're thick, they're square, they're clear, they stand out. They do have different labels, so like a lower grade, like a 7, will have a white. Higher grade, like a 9, will have a silver. Higher grades than that will have a gold, and then if you get a perfect 10, there's the coveted black label, which I hope to own a black label someday of something. So I hope that was informative for anybody thinking about getting some cards graded. And thank you for watching, and happy grading.